Set your sail for the orange and blue sea. Yeah.
Djokovic, there you go. All the way, and he misses on the jab. Wow. Boswell. Give it up. Oh, and he beats it. Wow. Take me to the Balkans, please.
Welcome to the Javamen Fighting Illini podcast, March 24th. This is March, Sweet 16, Java Suds, Java Shaps, Java Joe. How'd you like that one, Java Joe?
Take me to the Balkans. I loved it. That was good. I did not know that was happening. That was well done.
Joe, how was your reaction to that dunk? Did you hear Raft in real time?
Yeah.
Set your sail for the orange and blue sea. Yeah.
Thank you, P. I had left the family dinner early. I had some in-laws in town, I had to leave early. I had to get locked in. I had to hear Rafferty on the call, and so I had to get out of there. So the good news is I didn't have to pay for the bill. That it wasn't even an option of like playing that game with your in-laws. So I just walked out, got home, and so I was pretty much by myself most of the game. It was awesome. Like nobody bugging me. And when that dunk happened, I think I screamed. I was just like, whoa. Like, it was just like, I was out of control. Like, I don't think I've ever reacted like that to a game that's like a big time three situation. You know what I mean? Like end of game, that kind of thing. Like that was, if you don't have a reaction to that, you don't have a pulse.
Dunk was insane. That was the best dunk I think I've ever seen, that including Shannon from an Illini. That was just incredible. Shaps, you were at the Lagatuda household. We were going nuts. We had to rewind. Joe, we rewinded that probably, especially after the game. I think we just watched it 10 straight times.
Yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, I got my Flying Illini pullover on in honor of Big Z. In that epic play, getting the block on one end and then flying down the court for the dunk that seemingly, there was still like 15 minutes left in the game, I think, when he did that, but it seemingly just ended the game right then and there. And yeah, we screamed so loud in your basement that we completely missed the RAF line, and I saw it on Twitter later on, and I said, "Oh my God, Suds, we have to go back and rewind this after the game and hear this." And sure enough, we of course did that. Yeah, about 15 times to just listen to that line over and over. It was unbelievable call. So lucky to have the A team. So lucky.
Air Croatia line too, which came at I think that was like 4 or 5 minutes later, but that was amazing too.
Yeah, having the A team is just so awesome. Like if we had Spiro Ditas on the call and Jim Sparnuncle on like that, it would have just been completely different. So very, very fortunate, and very fortunate to be moving into another second in 3 years. So very, very grateful for that we get to enjoy this entire week and think about the upcoming matchup in Houston.
All right, boys, we took care of business. I was debating. There was a couple options for the intro music. I was thinking taking care of business, but then I remembered Take Me to the Balkans and had to roll with Fly Like an Eagle. Just made too much sense with Big Z. Take care of business against Penn. 105-70 victory. Dominant fashion. Penn keeps it pretty close through about, 17, 18 minutes. Illini pull away in the second half. Then, very similar to the last time we reached a Sweet 16, champions of the A10, VCU 11 seed, and the Illini didn't blow them out right away like we did with Duquesne, but pretty close to that outcome at the end of the day. I think Duquesne, what was it? They took a 28-26 lead at one point with about 3 minutes left. Stojakovic, MVP of the game, takes over at the end of the first half, sets the tone, and then we hit another gear in the second half. Shaps, share some thoughts on the weekend performance by our Illini.
Yeah, the Penn game, that was the Merck game. Merck went nuts. He had 29 points and 17 rebounds in only 28 minutes that he played.
That's insane.
29
How many
and
boards?
17.
I think I'm more impressed by the rebounds.
He just gobbled everything up. He completely took over the game. Yes, it kind of was uncomfortably close in the first half. But then Wagler, too, went off in the second half. He had 1 point, I think, in the first half, and then finished with 18, 7, and 7. We were taking way too many threes in the second half or in the first half and not pounding it inside, and we luckily made that adjustment, and that's when we pulled away. We just fed Merck down low. We dominated the boards. Held TJ Power to only 6 points, too, on 2 of 8 shooting. So credit to Boswell was the main assignment there. So that was really impressive to see. Just completely dominated. It didn't even get it close enough to where Fran would get all worked up or anything. I don't like a calm Fran, so that was really, really boring to watch. But I'm also glad that we just took care of business pretty easily in that round. And then you get VCU with a slight upset over North Carolina. Hubie Davis is now out as the
Officially?
UNC. Yeah, it just came through like before we started recording. Somebody sent it to me that Hubie is out as most expected, which is crazy because he was in the championship game just a couple of years ago. But yeah, he's been a disaster. They blew, was it a 19-point lead, I think, in that game to VCU. And VCU is definitely, it showed some toughness. And again, we kind of got off to a slow start, let them hang around, and then took off in the second half once Andre got in there. 21 points off the bench. Just carried us when we weren't really shooting all that well. And I think I mixed up my games too, because it was Wagler. It was in this game where Wagler had 1 point in the first half, and then
That was VCU.
Yeah. I mixed up my games there with Wags, with just 1 point in the first half, and then he had 13 in the second half. But I was most impressed with Tommy, actually. Tommy showed up. He kind of, especially to start the game too, he was like our toughest player. He was grabbing rebounds. He had 14 and 11. The defense was great on a night that our offense was kind of shaky. So that was good to see. Held them to just 55 points, which is really impressive. So again, once that big Z dunk happened, it seemed like there was just no looking back after that. So just a very comfortable win for the Illini, and once again coasting into the second weekend on the benefit of a very, very nice draw from the committee. So thank you for that. And we're grateful. We're thanking Undy today, and we're thanking him all week for putting us in this position to enjoy a second weekend. Once again, this is where we expect to be for sure. And now we've got a real test in front of us.
Java Joe, observations?
Well, we earned the seed, and when you earn the seed and get enough at bats,
Yes,
you're eventually not going to get screwed. And so, I wouldn't necessarily define this as a good draw. We beat the teams we were supposed to beat. Everyone was seated where they were supposed to be seated. Granted, VCU beating UNC shouldn't say that. UNC being without their All-American certainly was a break for us. We're playing UNC if it's not for that. but we took care of business when we're not getting a number 9 overall seed as the 8 seed in our region as the 1 seed. We can take care of business, and that's expected. Brad has proven in the tournament he can take care of business. It's when he comes up against teams that are tough, or like, some coaches that are proven better coaches than him. Like the one he has, and he has dominated or tackled a lot of demons throughout the years. The next one is beating a coach that is considered a top 3 coach in college basketball currently is beating him. So that's going to be a huge test. But I had some on our text thread talking about Hubie Brown went to a Final Four, so therefore he's better than Brad. He played freaking a 16 seed. That's why they got to a final.
Davis.
Hubie Davis, whatever his name is. Hubie Davis, doesn't matter. He just got fired. Hubie Davis is a joke. Anyone who was comparing, even thinking Brad was in the same conversation as him because he beat St. Peter's in the NCAA tournaments,
that was the St. Peter's year?
Is out of their mind.
Didn't St. Peter's also beat Purdue that year? Or was that the big upset? I thought St. Peter's had like 2 ridiculous wins in that tournament.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a 16 seed, you beat a couple.
Was that the same year? Yeah, they beat Purdue.
Yeah, I need to pull it up right now. My point is, like, that was
UNC was
that
an
was
8 seed,
that was lucky. That was lucky. That wasn't a definition of getting. I don't know if North Carolina had higher than a. Or what seed was North Carolina even that year?
I think they were an 8 seed.
I think they were an 8th seed. They barely made the tournament.
That's a ridiculous run.
So they've never really had a high seed. That's why when you put yourself in a position like Brad does to have a top, I think 4 is tough. Having a top 3 seed is helpful. So he did, now in order to get to the promised land, he has to be a team. At some point, he's going to have to beat a team that's better than him. And at some point, he's going to be a coach that's better than him. Arguably, he's beaten the team that's better than him 2 years ago. Now he's going to have to beat the coach that's better. I'm not convinced Houston's a better team than Illinois. I'm just not. I'm not necessarily convinced of that. I think this Houston team. Sorry, we're supposed to be talking about the first 2 rounds. I'm getting ahead.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Right. I mean, there's not much to be said about the first 2 rounds. I mean, we came in and we did what we needed to do. We dominated. And the best part about it, in my opinion, is a different guy stepped up each night. And we had Merck and Wagler and Penn, and then it was really Stojakovic and Tommy, to me, game 2, which sets you up beautifully. But, Joe, I agree. I mean, it's all about Houston. So proceed, my friend.
Everyone's playing well, though. Yeah, thanks for bringing me back. But everyone's playing well. Everyone seems to have their roles identified. The fact that Brad yanked Stojakovic when he shot that 3, I loved it. What was that, game 1 or game?
That had to be Penn, right? That was Penn.
That was Penn.
Yeah.
Stojakovic knows, like, dude, get to the rack. I think these guys have their roles identified. Now, if we go cold from 3, no matter how many times we're pounding it in, I don't know if that's going to happen. But before I get to any of that, the fact that I'm on ESPN, been on all the podcasts, everyone's talking about this matchup. Everyone's been talking about this matchup since Sunday. SVP is talking about it. All the main college basketball podcasts are talking about it. All the morning shows, Sports Center, Unsportsmanlike, shout out Michelle Smallman, U of I grad, talking about on the show. Like, the Illini are all over the place, and people are talking about how the Illini, like, they have a legitimate shot of winning this game. Money's coming in on Houston, but I think that's more money on, what's Houston's coach's name again?
Calvin.
That's on Sampson. Yeah, it's more on Sampson than the players themselves. So the fact that we're here, we're being talked about, our odds are pretty high for, at this point, they will skyrocket if we beat Houston. our odds to win a national championship, the obviously the odds will skyrocket to over 60% for a Final Four. And I think I don't even know what's at now. It'll at least double. I think it's at 30 something. Our odds will double if we beat Houston. And then I think they'll be in the 25% range to get to a championship game, and probably in the teens to win a national championship. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like this game unlocks so much. It's like such a huge roadblock because they are very good. They're well coached. They have 3 awesome guards. But the fact that he's put us in this position with this team and the players, like it's right there. There's just a really big hurdle in the way.
It's crazy. I'm doing the same thing as you, Joe, listening to all the podcasts, reading up on Houston, and they're just eerily similar to Illinois. Their strength is defense and we're offense. And if you look at what Illinois has struggled with, we've really kind of struggled with beating those top tier teams. But the thing is, Houston has also struggled beating those top tier teams, which is crazy. And I don't know. If you look at Houston, their strength is they turn teams over. Illinois doesn't turn the ball over. Houston doesn't get to the free throw line. Literally, that's the only thing our defense does well is we don't let teams get to the free throw line. They have a top 3 KenPom defense, 3 or 4. We're number 2 in the KenPom offense. They can still score. I think what scares me is their guard play, like you said, Joe. But the other thing is they don't really score at the rim, which I learned this week as well, which is kind of crazy to me because our whole premise of playing defense is to hold teams to mid-range jump shots. And it sounds like that's what Houston likes to do. So this game could very well fall on, at least for me, I think if Illinois is turning the ball over, it's a guaranteed loss. Like you cannot turn the ball over because I think that plays straight into Houston and them getting out in transition. If Houston's hitting their jump shots, flip a coin. If it's a game where their guards are going to go off and hit all those shots. And then for me, the last one, I'll do one more. Offense or rebounding, I think we can definitely get Houston on the boards, even though they seem to be a very aggressive team. So I'm interested to see how that plays out because it doesn't seem like they grade out as the best rebounding team, even though, we are tops from an offensive rebounding perspective. But going back to, for me, I think this game's going to come down to 3-point shooting for the Illini. I think if we could somehow shoot above 35% and not turn the ball over, I think that's a recipe to win for us. But those are 2 big ifs. It's a tall order, but I think very doable. And it's just going to be, it's a crazy matchup. Number 4 KenPom versus number 6 KenPom in the Sweet 16. I mean, that shouldn't be a Sweet 16 game, realistically. It should be an Elite 8 game. But, Joe, to your point, Iowa, Nebraska in the next round. So it really doesn't matter. It's, if it's Sweet 16 or Elite 8, you're just getting it around early, right? Because if you win, then you have an equivalent of a Sweet 16 matchup in the next round. So it's right in front of us, boys. Every time I listen to a pod, dude, I'm getting nervous. It is ridiculous. I'm like, I need to see the ball tip. I'm gonna be a wreck until 10 o'clock Thursday night, probably later.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad. It's it's a fascinating matchup for sure, and some of those, points that you were making. Shout out Gavin on Twitter is a really good follow at Buried Trays. Does these long form posts on different matchups and really digs into stuff. And he made some really good points about how this is actually the worst matchup that Houston could have asked for with Illinois because of what you were saying, Suds, where the things that they try to force offenses to do are our biggest strengths. not turning the ball over really, and rebounding and not fouling and all that. But the teams, yeah, I mean, it's so cool because the teams are like almost complete opposites. Even so, on Bart Torvik, since February 1st, the Illini are the number 2 offense and the number 23 defense since February 1st. Houston, the number 23 offense and the number 2 defense. Literally flipped. Literally flipped
That's
on
crazy.
Torvik since February 1st.
That's a good sample size too. 2 months.
Yeah.
That's a good sample size.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I think we're 3 or 3.5 point underdogs right now, but Ken Pom gives us a 47% chance to win this game. So, like you said, almost a coin flip. Obviously, 2 very different approaches. You know, Houston has their super aggressive trapping defense. They call it their monster defense. And I was doing some deep dives, and by deep dives, I mean I watched one YouTube video that broke down how Houston runs their defense, and basically they let you bring the ball up the floor for the most part. It's not a ton of pressure until you get into the front court, and then this is where Illinois could get into trouble because we're such a ball screen offense, and so they want you to set that ball screen essentially. And then once you set that ball screen, they essentially establish a line of scrimmage where they don't let you cross that. So like they're not going to let you just get a ball screen and drive. They're going to force you to basically go sideways or backwards and retreat like with your ball screens, because they're going to have, let's say, you know, our big guy like Tommy sets a screen. Their big guy Tugler is so big and he's not, well, he's long and he's athletic and he can guard all 5 positions. And so he's just going to come straight at the ball handler and force them sideways or backwards, and you're not going to be able to get around him.
Do you got a screen though then with whoever Tugler is guarding? You don't screen with him, right? I mean, that's the response to that.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways
Tugler out of the game.
Yeah. There's ways to combat it. There's ways to combat it. So you can basically make it look like you're going to set a screen on one side. And once that trap comes, you basically like fake like you're going to go right, let's say, and then you rescreen. So you have the guy who's setting the screen just basically turn around and flip on your defender, on the main defender, and then you drive left. Because now that trapping defender, that second guy, is already on the other side because he was expecting you to go right. So you fake like you're going right, you go rescreen to the left, and then that help guy, that trapper, isn't there, basically. So you have a much clearer path. The other thing, too, is once they get you to basically retreat after the ball screen, they want to force you to like make a difficult pass. That's where they really go nuts, is like you have to throw it over the top or you have to throw it like into the corner. But they bring all of the other defenders that are in the back. They're kind of like playing a zone coverage, you know, in football. They want you to try to throw it over the top, and then they'll just intercept it. So the way to combat that, too, is instead, and this is where I'm really hoping that Tundi makes this adjustment, because our offense is like very much spread the floor, and you have 2 guys in the corners, right? But you actually don't want to do that against their defense, because that allows those help defenders to just sit back. And if you try to throw it over the top of them, then they can intercept it. And like they're able to guard 2 guys at once if there's a guy in the corner because you're so far away. But if you bring those guys that are in the corners normally, if you bring them up to more like the wings, like free throw line extended, then all of a sudden those defenders have to also move up. And it basically just like clears out the lane for, you know, like a short roll or a slip or something like that. So it forces those guys to like have to make a decision. Like, okay, do I cover these guys or do I clog up? Because they want to clog up the middle. That's their thing too. So, yes, like you said, it's really going to come down to making open shots because there are going to be open shots if we make that quick pass. Once the trap comes, you have to be able to make quick decisions. It helps that Wagler is tall too and makes a lot of good decisions. I think you'll see Merck with the ball a lot as well too because he's such a good passer and he makes good decisions. So that's going to be really the key. I know. I know one of the big things too was, should Andre start? That was like a lot of, and we've been making that argument for the past couple games that he probably should be starting too, because he's just really the better player and he's better at getting downhill. But I don't know if this is an Andre game really, because they want you to put your head down and drive to the middle, and because they're long
Andre
and
feeds
athletic
into it
and
a little bit.
and Tugler is gonna block every shot, I think, of Andre's.
How tall is Tugler? Is he what, 6'9", 6'10"?
Yeah, something like that. He's not that tall, but he's a beast,
He's
and
a beast.
he was such a monster last year in the Final Four. Remember when they came back and beat Duke
Was
in the
he the guy
semifinal?
who had the technical foul because he reached over, or was that somebody else?
Yes,
That was
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Tugler's
You're right.
beast, dude.
That was him too, but all before that, and probably I think it was after. Also, he scored a couple baskets in a row. He had a couple huge blocked shots
And like put back dunks.
and put back dunks. Yes, that basically brought them back into that game. He hit a couple huge free throws too. So he's a beast. Like he can really make a difference in this game with his rebounding and with his shot blocking and his ability to just kind of be all over the court and do everything for them. So I do worry a little bit if Andre, because he's not a great ball handler either, and if he's trying to force the ball inside and getting to try to get to the rim, then we could run into some problems there. And I think that the threat of having Jake, who's our best shooter by far, threat of having Jake standing out in the corner or in the wing for those kickouts is really gonna help spread the floor. And I don't think they're gonna have no problem helping off of Andre. Like they're very, very smart. They know it's gonna be well scouted that they're not going to be worried about Andre shooting threes. So I do worry about that a little bit, and whether or not this is going to be a big Andre game. You still got to have that ability, obviously, to get into the lane. Not saying like he's going to not be playable or anything like that. He's a better player than Jake Davis. He's a better defender, but I don't know. I don't know if I expect a big Andre game for this. So that's kind of it. I mean, it's really taking care of the ball and making good decisions and quick decisions too.
Yeah. Which I feel like we've been successful with that. Was it Nebraska plays that type of defense? I think Iowa.
Yeah. Nebraska would
we've been
probably be
okay.
the closest comparison
Northwestern
because of
trapped, but that's Northwestern, so
Northwestern
we're not
does it
compare
too.
that. Yeah.
But
and we've been
Nebraska's
successful. So
Nebraska's always like doubling in the post too. That's probably one of the better comparisons, but they're not nearly as athletic as Houston is and as aggressive. So,
Joe, did you listen to that Sleepers podcast clip that I sent you earlier today?
Yeah, that was. I mean, it was fine. There wasn't. I wasn't too. I was.
What were your thoughts on Carter Elliott? Carter Elliott's opinion on the Illini. Yeah, the toughness thing. So that it was. I listen to those guys. They're really good. And how do you pronounce? Is it Waddle or Waddell? Greg's last name.
I think Waddle.
Waddle. He loves the Illini. He's a big. He's a Michigan guy, but he loves this Illini team, and Carter Elliott's like the complete opposite. He just thinks that Illinois is soft. So they were just going at it on this pod, and I was actually getting pissed at Carter's opinion too, because it's like, dude, you've literally watched. He's basically has this narrative, which may be true based on a couple games that we've watched about the toughness factor with Illinois. But really, if you break that down, I mean, the one game that we were just dominated was the Michigan game. The other games that we had in the Big Ten, we just were a possession away and lost 4 overtime games. So it's really kind of to just his whole narrative was we don't stand a chance against Houston because Houston will just be way tougher than us, which I just, for the sake of being an Illini fan, I just want to see Tommy and Z and Merck come out there and just go toe-to-toe with Tugler. Because I am kind of scared of that too. Like, there's part of me where I just think Tugler is twice as tough as those guys. And for whatever reason, just dominates the game with the physicality. And that's how the game goes. I mean, I could see a scenario where that is a way that we lose. And I would hate that because that is kind of been the narrative in our losses. If I'm Brad Underwood.
We've talked about that a lot with the toughness factor.
If I'm Brad, I'm literally taking that clip and I'm playing it in the locker room for Tommy and Merck and Z. I would do everything to just get these guys fired up because I do feel like if they dig deep, they do have something that they could just flip a switch and get that toughness level up. And I mean, we've seen it against lesser competition. That's what I need to see Thursday night.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we haven't even talked about Houston's best player, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
Their freshman guard.
Joe, I thought that'd get you fired up, man. Come on.
So,
what's
no.
The deal?
I'm not. I'm more of let's show it on the court at this point in time. Houston. Houston is a tough team. I do think that Merkovich is just as tough as those guys. I think them double teaming that our bigs can all we can all dribble, pass, and shoot at all 5 positions. So I'm not worried about Chaps' pregame breakdown of how to beat the Houston defense. I'm not that was good. I'm not worried about that after he just explained it because we have good passers. What I am worried about is guys being tough, don't let Houston rip the ball away or don't Andre drives in or Wagler goes and drives in thinking they're getting fouled and then they're not calling fouls and then they're just stripping them. Even if they're fouling them, they're just fouling them, right? They're taking more liberties than we are in terms of fouling the other team or being more aggressive with fouling.
Or is he on rebounds, just getting the ball stripped because he takes the ball down?
We have to win the rebounding battle. Yeah. We have to be strong with the ball. I think our passing is fine. I actually think we'll get some in rhythm shots and threes. I do think that some guys have shown, glimpses of getting out of that. Wagler, Tommy, some guys are shooting better, which is a welcome sight. I actually think it's interesting. I'm more interested in their offense versus our defense. I'm very interested to see how they react to our length because the only team that really has the length that we do that they played was Arizona, and their offense didn't do shit against Arizona twice. And so, yeah, if you're, Jamie's going to complain and some others are going to complain about drop coverage, but if one of our guys stays on those guys enough, they're going to be, they're not used to the 3 inches more on a defender. That's going to be a little bit more difficult of a shot. I'm not sure they're going to be able to make, those 2-point jumpers like they normally do. Those three guards are really good, but they haven't proven it against a big team. Now, maybe we're a lot slower than Arizona, and that could very well be the case because they have a bunch of McDonald's All-Americans. We don't. Brad does more with less. But
we have Andre.
We have Andre. That's right. So Andre's what's interesting.
We're not
about that
talented.
Andre is the first McDonald's All-American that Brad's had, and Brad has him knocking on the door of a Final Four if we can beat Houston. So it's interesting. It's interesting how that works out. I'll actually be very. I'm very excited to bring up that point. Should we make a run to the Final Four? Very very excited to make that point.
Just an absolute game for
there's obviously
Undy and Tundy.
It
couldn't be a bigger game for Undy and Tundy. I mean, Tundy especially. If Tundy performs Thursday night, I think the entire squad is standing down in the group chat.
There's a lot of pressure on this game as far as, the relationship between the fan base, especially the squad side of things, and Underwood and Sons. This will say a lot because this is the best team we've played besides Michigan, who obviously destroyed us. And so, and we have not beaten. Iowa State was obviously a good win a couple of years ago. That was a very good team, but this team is better.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's almost identical.
The offense is I mean, we talk all about their defense, but their offense is number 10 in KenPom.
Yeah.
For the season. So like they're still very good. Kingston Flemings is awesome. Like he is so good. Boswell,
he worries me.
Is going to have his hands full with him. I think he'll have a huge game. We have to hope that the other guys like Uzan and Sharp don't just go nuts from 3, because then there's really no chance of beating Houston if they're hitting those shots. So you kind of just have to hope. Flemings is probably going to score 20 because he's just so good. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, we talked about it too. Like Houston has not been very good when they've played the best teams in the Big 12. They split with a couple of those teams, but they lost to Texas Tech. They lost to Tennessee. Also, we beat both of those teams. So yeah, this is, I mean, we've talked about it. This is a really tough matchup for Houston as well. And I think we definitely have the guys that can get it done, but the shooting still scares me. I mean, yes, it's been maybe a little bit better, but for some guys, you know how I like to bring up the last 5 games. We've moved on to the last 10 games now.
For who? Z?
You want to know? The last 10 games for Z?
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, Z, when's the last time he hit a 3?
He's 2 for his last 22 threes. That's 9%.
It means he's due.
Andre is 3 for 14.
Yeah, I mean,
21%.
But what about Tommy hitting 2 of 5?
That was big. That moved him up to 25% over the last 10 games.
That's all right. He's on the up.
So bad.
If Tommy's going to go 3 for 6 from 3. Z's going to hit 1. Z's going to go 1 for 3.
Z only took one shot. He only took one three.
That.
It's shot selection. Z knows he's not supposed to be shooting threes.
I think the dunk was his only basket.
That dunk, man.
As soon as he takes a 3, they're going to take him out of the game. Same thing with Stojakovic.
Z's not allowed to shoot threes anymore. If he's wide open.
Can shoot like 2. I think Stojakovic is 2 and Z's 1. That's it. That's all they can shoot.
Yeah, if Z misses, he's done.
So that's what I mean. Like, they've been taking
Ben,
good shots. They're finding their roles.
We'll get to that. So Boswell has actually been okay. He's at 33%, which like for him is not too bad.
He hit from the logo. Remember we were all screaming not to shoot, and he hit like 2 of those?
Yeah, Wagler has not been very good for him. He's way down. The last 10 games is at 34%. Merkovich is great, 39%. Ben, 39%. And then our boy Jake, 44%. He's so good.
Wow. Yeah, so Jake, I think I kind of want Andre to start too, but if you're struggling, you bring Jake in.
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
Andre's not going to
start.
Brad doesn't change.
Yeah, Brad,
he's not going to start.
I don't know
he's not
why
going to make a
I
change.
even went there. Is that?
It's a silly debate because
It's funny though. How
he's not
funny
going to
was
start.
it
Yeah.
when Andre scores the last 9 points of the first half, and then who starts the second half? I mean, come on, Brad. How, Andre
He's the best.
single-handedly
We love Brad.
goes on a run to put the game away, and you don't start him in the second half.
It's so good.
What? So
we have
so
four
what?
good 3-point shooters. We have 4 good 3-point shooters, and Boswell and Tommy have shown they can do it, and they're starting to shoot better. Like, you don't need more than 5 guys shooting good, shooting above average or being good 3-point shooters. You just need the right shot selection. And I don't have an issue with the guy. I don't if we're going to lose because we're missing shots, like we already talked about, that's going to be a key. You at this point in the tournament, you have to make shots.
You got to make shots.
But it's the right guys will be taking the shots. I don't have a doubt. It's not going to be a situation where we're like, oh, he shouldn't have shot all those shots. Like, it's going to be the guys that should have taken the shots and they just missed. That's what I'm confident in.
It could be like Tommy,
right?
though.
Right.
You could argue.
Right.
You could argue as Tommy, should he be taking the shots?
Again, it's like
He's
the
open,
quality
he should.
and right, because it comes down to how they're shooting the shots, and when it's inside out, it's just so much better than swinging the ball around or taking step backs or stuff like that. And that's what you worry about, like when with the trapping defense is, all of a sudden it's late in the shot clock and you're trying to get a shot up on the rim, and you're retreating, your ball handler is retreating to half court, and he has to throw it over the top, and a guy has to just turn and shoot it, as opposed to getting into the lane, because that's what they don't want you to do. But you have to find a way to get into the lane and then kick it out for the open threes, because that's when we shoot our best. So, but yeah, you got to make your shots, and the right guys have to be shooting them. And that's the hope. That's how you beat Houston. We can do it.
What scares you the most about Thursday? I know my answer. There's one thing in the game out of all the things that we just broke down. What scares you the most?
You want me to go?
I might start, actually, if you guys don't
go.
mind.
You go ahead.
I'll start. For me, the one thing that scares me the most, because I think if this is an even matchup, we win 8 out of 10 times.
Don't say it.
Brad versus Calvin.
Damn it. Blondie.
That scares me the most.
Potential Blondie. Late game.
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I could just envision a scenario where there's an 8-0 run, a 12-0 run, and there's no timeout called. And there's just obvious
ever.
things that are happening in real time, and it could be avoided, but it's not. Or some adjustment that needs to be made, not something crazy, a simple adjustment. I just think that's definitely advantage Calvin, and not a lot of people are talking about it. Like, everybody wants to dig into the Ken Pom numbers, but like at the end of the day, that's going to be a very critical part of this game.
Yeah, if it's as close as it's expected to be, it's a big concern for sure. We've seen it before, and we've seen Kelvin do it. He wiped the floor with John Shire last year in that Final Four. Like, Duke just melted down, and Shire did not have an answer, and Kelvin coached the pants off of him in those last 2 minutes where they came back. They were down like 7 points with a minute and a half left, I think, and won by 3. He's a good coach. Scumbag. Good coach.
What do you think about that, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, he's he's one of the best coaches currently, right? He's
leaving the program to his son.
Yeah, he's probably number five current, maybe 4 behind Patino, Self, Izzo. I don't know if I'd put in, and then I guess the UConn coach. So
Penis
he's
head.
five for me. Yeah, I mean he's really good. He's a really good coach. That's not. Brad probably will be outcoached a little bit. That's just the reality. But just because sometimes you're outcoached doesn't mean you can't win a game.
That's true.
If we make threes, it won't. Hopefully, it doesn't matter.
You got to rebound.
What concerns me what scares me though.
We got to rebound.
It scares me because the margins are so thin in a game like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where something like that could dictate the outcome.
Yeah, so then we got to be really great at what we're really great at, which is rebounding, right? We if they out rebound us, they're likely gonna have the coaching edge. Shooting, I don't think we're gonna outshoot them by a ton, right? Like if we do, great. But I don't think we are. To me, it's gonna come down to rebounding and us extending those possessions, and whether that's a knock on Tunde because we've got a good offensive rating because of that. I don't care. That's how this team was built. And that's how, and likely this team is built the way it is, but it's probably the only team that has a real shot of beating Houston that's not named Arizona or Michigan because of our length.
Yeah.
And so I think Brad built a team
like
that
that
can
point.
overcome even his coaching,
limitations.
I think his coaching limitations. I think he saw these bigger teams. Now we're not as athletic as some of these teams that have won national championships, but these bigger teams have won national championships. Like who's a team that
pretty
won?
damn athletic on that. You know what I mean? Like where is that been?
So Akovic is athletic too. Boswell is not. He's athletic enough. Like he's real strong. Wagler,
Wagler's limited.
He's limited athletically for sure, but he's not athletic because he wouldn't be he would lottery pick.
Right. Yeah.
These guys are quicker than us. They're probably, I don't think they're that much faster than us. They're just probably a little quicker, but we're taller. So I don't know. I just don't think we just got to rebound the ball. Like they can't be quicker to the ball. We got to rebound, use our size. Yep. If they're quicker and getting rebounds and getting touches and getting on the floor and being tougher, like it might just come down to that.
Got to be tough.
If we lose because of this whole toughness thing, I'm gonna be pissed. It's like this so dumb.
Toughness is easy to identify though. Rebounding, loose balls.
It's such an
really easy to
intangible-
identify.
I just have a hard time with Tommy and Z and Merck. There's got to be something in there just to set them off, and whatever that is.
Merck, I'm not worried.
Z and Tommy, and I mean, who else are we talking? Humrick House is really not built for this, but Z and Tommy, you gotta find some way to get it out of them. I know it's in there with those guys. I know it is. Tommy, I mean, he showed it against VCU. It's VCU. You know what I mean? It's just that game against Michigan really just creeps back in your head where they just did not show up.
But they don't have a Perez Johnson.
I mean, Tugler is kind of like the biggest. Yeah, he's probably the biggest comp to Merez. But Mara, I mean,
he's not as skilled offensively as Merez is, but he's very similar in size and dynamic and rim protection and just toughness.
But their center is not Mara. Their center he's more of a shooter than a bruiser. He's not a guy that'll. So I mean, if you're Tommy,
we're worried about a guy that's averaging 8 points and 5 rebounds.
Tugler?
No, were we talking about the same guy?
Who are you talking about?
Yeah, who are you talking about?
Joseph Tugler, number 11. He's averaging 8 and 5.
He's a beast.
8 and 5?
Well, I mean, I'm not.
Merkovich is a beast. Merkovich is I actually think we have a huge advantage at the 4 because of Merk over this guy. I actually think this is our biggest advantage.
I mean, Tugler is like Dennis Rodman, basically.
He doesn't.
Dude, you guys are talking this guy up too much. He's not. That's where we're going to exploit him.
Yeah, but he doesn't
I mean,
have
I
to
hope.
score for them. That's not what he does. He's like the captain of their defense. He's all over the place. He causes a lot of havoc. And he has also taken over a couple games for them.
There's my Joe. I know and love. Starting
just-
to
not
get him a
gonna
little
worry about
fired up here.
I'm not going to worry about a guy that's averaging 8 and 5. I'm just not.
All
That's
right.
fine.
Well, advantage Illini.
I hope
Now,
Tundi.
if a
I hope
guy's
Tundi's
averaging
I'll tell you
worried
this
about
right now, Joe.
13
I'll tell you
and
this.
7.
If Merck dominates Tugler, we're winning the game. That's I don't know if that's a scenario that happens, but that will be the outcome.
They have 2 guys. Michigan probably has 2 guys that are not only better than him offensively, but better than him defensively. In Luxembourg, and Johnson. I'm not
Michigan's
kidding. I'm not
Michigan's way
kidding.
better than Houston for sure. Michigan's freakish.
Yeah.
Like the fact that we've played Michigan is going to prepare us for sure for Houston.
The issue is their 3 guards. If we get beat, it's because those 3 guards completely dominate our 3 guards,
Yeah.
which is very possible.
I'm just worried about. I get we don't turn the ball over, but I worry a little bit about Wagler and Merck and their handling of the ball. I just feel like they're just a little loose with the ball, and you could get away with
Wagler
it
is for
against.
sure.
You could get away with it against VCU, but I don't know. But then Wagler just flips a switch, kind of. What if Wagler just is Purdue Wagler and goes off? How sick would that be?
That'd be so sick.
I need that. I need that so bad. I need Wagler to hit like 8 threes.
Did you notice in that VCU game, Waller still brought it up majority of the time, but I think it was maybe like 50, maybe 50, 30, 20, with Wagler being the 50, Boswell being the 30, and Merck being the 20, bringing the ball. Like, I love that. Just switch it up. Switch it up. It's the same offense. Same guys are in the same
I like
positions.
it.
You're just switch it up. Don't put all of that pressure on, because the way Shaps described it, like, that sounds pretty intense. But don't have one guy deal with that. Just like don't have Io just deal with
The line of scrimmage.
the Sister Jean, blitz of the screen.
Joe, what are we doing? What are you doing?
No.
Don't bring that
My
up.
point
what are you
is,
doing? No.
That team didn't have guys. Like, we have 3 guys that should be able to handle the load. So split it up. Like, keep the defense guessing. I think I think that if they do that, I will be so happy. But if they just have one guy who's getting crushed, I'm going to be so pissed.
How is Fleming's defensively?
You got me all fired up, Lags. All agitated.
It only took me 50 minutes. I was trying to get that in the first 10 minutes of the pod.
Tugler is the
I am
numbers.
shocked you didn't come in guns blazing after I sent you that clip. After just
Yo,
getting
I'm
caught.
sure
I
on
was
the
getting
court.
pissed listening to it. Because it was ridiculous. We're like, oh, we're not tough. We're not tough. It's like we had one game where we where we were beat up. But, I mean, aside from that, look at the whole Big Ten. We just literally make one more shot in 4 of those games, and we don't lose them. I mean, yeah, you could definitely say
Joe,
I was calling us out the other day, so I get it. But
all right, here we go. Tugler is the number 6 rated defensive player on Evan Maya in the entire country.
there you go, Joe.
Who's ahead of him?
Mara, Luxembourg.
Ooh, Merez.
No. Although he's up there.
So 2 Michigan guys are ahead of him.
What about Fleming's, Shaps?
He's not bad defensively, but he's not great.
Just like Wagler, kind of. Wagler is a little bit of a liability
Yeah,
defensively.
their
with a
center
stronger guy.
Sanak is also really good defensively.
He's a little, but he's skinny, isn't he? He's not.
Yeah.
So I feel like that for me is favorable for Tommy and Z. Like, I'd rather have a guy like that who's kind of lanky and long than Amara, who's just massive.
I think Merck and Tommy have a great game.
Should we do some predictions?
No.
Should we do captain and plank real quick?
Captain
and then
and plank?
predictions?
All right, let's do the captain. Who's the
Like
captain?
Shaps had a plank or a captain he wanted to get off his chest.
I mean, I do have a captain. I don't know if I have a plank. There's always planks out there.
You do a captain, I've got a good plank.
All right, my captain is Josh
All right,
Whitman.
Shaps. Ooh.
Our athletic director, Josh Whitman, is my captain. Illinois is the only school in the country to have a bowl win in football and NCAA tournament wins for men and women in back-to-back years. So 2 years in a row, the trifecta. So it's pretty remarkable what Josh has done for Illinois athletics. So I think he gets a shout out from me. He's my captain this week. Thank you, Josh.
Well done, Shapops.
Thank you, Josh.
Well done. Thank you, Josh. Java Joe.
What can I possibly be planking? I think I heard on the text thread in last week's pod a lot of bitching. About losing in the Big Ten tournament.
Ooh.
There was a lot of bitching, and it was almost like the season was over.
Mm-hmm.
It was really interesting to me. We were never going to get that 2 seed probably because Purdue won it all. So we were probably in the 3 seed no matter what.
Unless it was us.
That's true. But regardless, we probably wouldn't have gotten as good of a draw. Although, actually, Purdue's got a pretty damn good draw. I digress. Who's not in it's weird. I've seen a lot of Big Ten teams in the tournament. I've heard you're supposed to be a really good coach to be in to make runs in the tournament. Like you should be able to at least get to a second weekend if you're a good coach and you have a good seed. What's that? Oh yeah. The cheese. Wisconsin Badgers, grade guard. Some of the squad, there's a couple coaches that are always brought up whenever it happens. And yet Brad's beaten guard most of the time. And yet not most of the time, more often than not. And yet I'm always hearing about how Illinois has more talent, even though this is the first time we've ever had a McDonald's All-American. You know, Brad develops talent better than guard. That's clear. But it's weird. Guard never does shit in the tournament. He chokes. He lost to High Point. You know who Brad's never lost to in the tournament? Fucking High Point. Okay? High Point.
Good.
Have we had some close calls with some mid-majors? Yes. But have we ever lost to a team that's below? I don't even know what they are. Someone look real quick what they are. The Ken Pom. I can tell you Brad's never lost to a team that low in the Ken Pom in the tournament before. So yes, grade guard is planked. And those squad members who think grade guard is God's gift coaching are out of their minds. Because he had 2 awesome guards that I could have gotten to the Sweet 16 with those guys. And he couldn't even beat High Point. Plank, grade guard, and the squad members who consider him better than Brad. It's a fucking joke.
Here, it's time to walk the plank.
Well done, Joe. Well done.
Take a seat, guard.
Take a seat, guard. The cheese
Take
go
a
down.
seat,
That was
guard.
short-lived for the cheese. They were pretty happy about their 2-win performance in the Big Ten tournament. And the blink of an eye.
Guard hasn't
everything
gotten to the
changes.
second weekend since 2017, I believe. They've lost the last year they lost this year they lost as a 5 seed in the first round. Last year they lost in the second round as a 3 seed. They lost to a 12 seed in 2024. 23 they missed the tournament. Lost in the second round as a 3 seed. Lost in the second round. So yeah, they've had a pretty tough go of it. Guard can't seem to figure out.
You can't
that
seem to
March
beat the
success.
way lower seeds. That was
upset a lot.
great, Chaps. I did not have all that ready. I didn't realize it was
yeah.
that embarrassing for guard.
Yeah, they've lost to double-digit seeds the last 3 years in a row, I think.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, he might be on the hot seat.
So really, he's only done well with the players that who was his predecessor. That guy was a stud, developed.
Bo Ryan.
Bo Ryan developed. He only won with the players Bo Ryan developed. Wow.
Yeah, guard's gotten a lot of, what is it? He's gotten a lot of juice out of the squeeze or something like that. But in the Big Ten, and he seems to know the Big Ten coaches pretty well and can have a lot of success there. But for whatever reason, when they get to the big dance, these other coaches just figure him out, or their players just don't perform. So you're right, Joe.
That was a rough finish. I mean,
great playing.
In guard's defense, that kid from High Point was making half court shots and shooting them with 25 left on the shot clock. So
can you imagine if Illinois let one guy go off for a career high in the tournament, what the squad would be saying?
Talk about meltdown city.
Jeez.
I wouldn't even be able to check my phone.
We got some great coaches.
Be on fire.
This Sweet 16 is awesome. I'm excited. I mean, I really hope Illinois doesn't ruin the whole weekend for me, because these games are awesome. The Friday night games especially.
I need it.
Duke
so bad.
Duke versus Patino. Shout out to Rick Barnes too. 4 straight second weekends for the guy who couldn't get it done for a long time. You know what? How about Slime Miller too, our guy?
Yeah, we were
very good
all
coach.
over Slime.
Dude, if he takes down Purdue, that would be so sick.
Who? Why didn't Slime make a run last year? What happened?
He ran into Undy.
Who did knock out Slime?
Huh. It's weird. We keep discovering things that I'm being told aren't true. That Brad can't be a good coach in a tournament. That grade guards better X's and O's. There's lots of things that are popping up as we unpack. So anyways, go ahead, Chaps. That was a great point. Thank you.
Yeah, well, Slime didn't have much of a roster. He was at Xavier, where he didn't have any money, so he left and went to Texas. You want to know Slime Miller's record in the second round of the tournament all time?
I'm going 6-0.
9-1.
Wow.
That's why you got to beat him before the second round.
Yeah.
Like the Illini
did. Undy was smart.
Another point for Undy. Speaking of
Slime.
Undy, my captain of the ship, Brad Underwood, and I'm gonna add one more, Tyler Underwood, Tundy. Undy and Tundy, take us to the promised land. This is the year. Get through Houston. I couldn't dream of a scenario where we have Nebraska to get to the Final Four. And that scenario is very much on the table, but we got to play the game of the year on Thursday. There's ever a time for it all to come together. We have our confidence. I'm happy that we got the first 2 matchups that we got. We're flying high. I think Boswell has really taken on this leadership role. He's going to get the guys fired up. Boswell is going to take that matchup with Flemings. Because Boswell, there's been hints of these interviews that he's gotten about Riley and KJ, how they're in the NBA, and Boz we'll see them next year. And this is a great showcase for Boz. I mean, I don't think we all of us know he's not an NBA player, but he could make a lot of money playing professional basketball. And this is a showcase for Boswell. And I think if we're going from a player perspective, he's going to be my captain for Thursday, because if he has the ability to limit Flemings in this game, that will just put us in the catbird seat for a victory. So we got our senior Boswell, we got Brad, we got Tundy. Tundy's big opportunity to silence the critics. I would love nothing more than to be in that group chat at midnight on Thursday talking about the best offense in KenPom history with the group led by Tundy. We need it to happen, boys. This is it. I don't even care we're a couple point dogs. That doesn't feel that way. I don't care that we're playing in Houston. I think Illini faithful will show up. I think there's going to be a huge showing from Nebraska fans, a huge showing from Iowa fans. I don't even think it's going to be that big of an advantage for Houston. I get it's in Houston, but when you get to these neutral site games, it's just the amount of, how the tickets work and all that. And Nebraska, one of those teams is going to lose, so those guys are going to empty out. And unless you're Joe ripping off some guy trying to get into the next session, nobody could get into those games.
Yeah, the biggest concern is the airports right now. I honestly,
that is true.
I hope our fans and our fellow Big Ten fans can get down there, because it's possible they can't. Hopefully, some people are hopping in a car, because that might be the better way to go right now. Not to get political, but yeah, that we can plank the government, I guess. Bonus plank for. Because there were a lot of talks about the Javamen getting down to Houston, and Thursday is just tough. We're family men. Saturday, I would love to get down there if we do win, but it seems like it's increasingly difficult to try to fly in and out of anywhere right now. But hopefully our fans still are able to show up and support the boys.
All right, gents, what do you got for a prediction?
Joe?
I'm going Illini 75, Houston 72. We take care of business. I will be on that flight Saturday morning out of St. Louis, no issue. If I'm waiting for 6 hours to get home on Sunday from Houston, I will be okay, because I will feel very good. That will be consuming Final Four content. Just need to get through Samson. Come on, Brad. I've shown so much faith in you. Come on, bring it home.
Chapops, Spy.
The total's pretty low, 139.5 right now. So Joe's got the over. They're thinking that this is going to be a defensive battle, which
I think maybe more the possession game, though.
Yeah.
Shaps.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely.
Because they both play slow.
I think if we're not turning the ball over, then it's going to be very limited possession-wise. It'll be a slow pace, which is definitely a benefit to us, and I could see us being able to win a game like that as well. So I'm going to go Illini 71, Houston 67.
Shaps. Got mine written down. 73-67.
Wow.
Right around what you got, Shaps. I'm feeling it, boys.
Will that count as a close win, or because it's not a one possession, it won't count, Chaps?
It depends, Joe. It depends, because, are we leading comfortably and then Houston hits a bucket or two that makes it look closer, or is it actually coming down to one possession where maybe we hit some clutch free throws at the end? But I'm not worried about that right now, Joe. I just want the win. Give me the win. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes. Get us to the Elite Eight against one of the Corn boys.
Whatever it takes, boys.
So
That's
much
the
corn.
motto. Let's do it. Hopefully the next time we talk on this podcast, we are indie bound. I need that reservation at Elmo's. I need it. We've been saying it for years. It needs to happen. This is the Javamen Fighting Illini podcast. Thanks for listening.
ILL.
Yar, it's time to walk the plank.